Hello and welcome to the Voyage episode 9. In this episode I am going to cover the Regent class, otherwise known as the Sovereign Retrofit. Well, actually at this particular moment I haven't even bought it yet, so why don't we say we rectify that right now. Whoops. Alright, this will be F. I think that 93705 F. Yep. Alright, now for this review I will do some of it off the cuff. Let's see what it comes with. Oh, by the way, did you guys notice with Season 6 they brought this back? The ability to stand next to the ship selection officer and edit your starships this way? Here's the new module I was looking forward to using. Metreon gas canisters. I will actually... And here's the wide-angle quantum torpedo launcher, which will be replacing my, my tricobalt device. I need my anti-proton mags. I can't do any of my universal consoles. I think I can pull it off. Now to put it back and then to get my devices out. I usually run around and have my previous ships completely battle ready. So I'll put all these back with my old ship. Also, when I skip past this, I will also copy my deflector shields and impulse engines as well. Alright, now that one bit of tedious action is done, let's actually see what we can customize on this thing. My first thought, I don't care for the look. It's not my thing, I guess. Let's switch it back over to a Sovereign. I'm actually pretty loyal to my fleet, so I'll put my fleet emblem on, see what it looks like. It's right there and there. It's noticeable. Now I'll just edit past this because I usually do Sagittarius for the design. I don't like the fact that it does not have a unique bridge to it. It's just got the standard bridge. And then whatever I happen to have purchased. It could at least let me reuse my Odyssey bridge. I mean, I paid 50 bucks for it. Ah, well. Diplomat's not too bad. Material type 4. I like my ships dark. Alright. Alright, now I get to fly this around. I'm actually pre-recording this about a week before I normally would, so I have a chance to fly around and test it. Alright, I'm going to go to do a Nagus Daily Foundry mission. That will give me some first impressions of it, and I will record the Nagus Daily. Alright, after rearranging my powers and forgetting about the bridge officer slots, just to let you guys know, I'm not impressed with the bridge officer slots at all. They gave you no actual science slots, so you wound up, well, you don't need to, but you wind up almost always using the universal slot for a science. I mean, I could just assume you can go straight brute force with a tactical or some kind of healing with an engineer. Oops. Now I'm going to do the Nagus dailies. Nagus, these dailies used to be called Nagus dailies, now they are UFP, were actually designed by somebody so that they could quickly do the investigate daily officer reports without feeling like they were cheating when they hit the console on the bridge. So I'm going to go into this and get some battle reactions over, see if I can get some off-the-cuff reactions on how this Regent class vessel operates. Members of my fleet already have this vessel and they're enjoying it.
Warning, ship is under attack. Force shields.
Okay, I gotta do some workup on my hull. I screwed something up. I don't have a tactical team. That's actually on me. I like the wide-angle quantum torpedo launcher. I like the fact that I can broadside and still fire with it. The downside is it is restricted to only one per ship. I think that was it. Here we go. I was hoping for reinforcements. Purpose, I want to test out the new Metreon gas. Alright, he is now affected by it. I don't know if it ignited at all. I think it did. I hope it did. Otherwise, it's not too bad. Even if it didn't ignite, it's really not that bad of a skill. Not worth the money for this actual ship.
Force shields failing.
not bad. I'll submit a 5-star review, no tip. Alright, I will play through this throughout the week and then have a review for you. The difference is the review for you will start pretty much right now. Well, after 2 weeks of reviewing the Regent class starship, I have to actually say that I'm a little more impressed than I was in the beginning. In the beginning I wasn't feeling out the starship too well, but I decided to switch back and forth between my Odyssey and this class a few times. Granted, I don't necessarily at endgame like changing ships too much because I have to keep rerouting all of my commands. But anyway, I like the power bonuses of the Regent class. I enjoy, which is actually pretty good. It's a little bit better on the weapon side than the Odyssey Tactical was. The Metreon gas canisters, they're really good, and so is the wide-angle torpedoes. The one thing I can recommend, though, about the Metreon gas canisters is if you have some kind of a mine of some type with you. The reason behind it is the Metreon gas doesn't ignite until it gets hit by a torpedo, I've found. So the mine will help because it'll lock on, hit their ship, and then have a torpedo explosion, which is where my tricobalts come out. The Metreon gas canisters share a cooldown with the eject warp plasma, but that's not really too bad of an issue, at least not in my opinion. And I actually expected it to be a shared cooldown with that. I'll actually be walking around as I do this one. One thing I'm really impressed about with this ship is the turn rate, actually. Whoops. This actually has a much, I can't emphasize enough, much better turn rate than the Odyssey. This ship does not turn quite as fast as a escort does, which is really no big deal. Let's check out engineering. Let's see what's going on here. Seems fine. Ultimately, would I have gotten it over my Odyssey? No, I wouldn't have, because I miss my work bees a lot. This ship does need armor to survive, one of the armor consoles, and as you saw when I was transferring over, my Odyssey did not have an armor console. I'm going to take a shortcut down. My Odyssey did not have an armor console of any kind. Well, I see this ship's going to need one at least to handle STFs, or I'm going to have to respec a little bit to handle STFs. Mess around in the lab a little bit. I realize this isn't really a great review of it. Most of my first reaction is actually accurate. I don't much care for the design of it, though I did find that I switched back to the Regent for everything except for the part that hooks the nacelles up to the star drive section. I actually forget what they're called offhand. Pylons, I think. I switched those over to the Sovereign style. A lot of people are actually asking me if the Regent is actually like a skin. Well, yeah, it's a skin and its own starship at the same time. A lot of people in my fleet enjoy the Regent, and they prefer it over their Odyssey. I prefer my Odyssey over this. If I do switch back, I don't see myself switching back to my Odyssey, at least in the near future. Just because I'm the kind of person, I spent money, I want to get my money's worth. If I do switch back, I will actually switch over the wide-angle quantum torpedoes. Those things are lovely. It's nice to be able to broadside, and I'll show you a little bit on them. Some people are actually ask me if the wide angle is actually the same thing as the beam arrays, which have a 250-degree firing arc, whereas in the wide angle torpedoes have 180-degree firing arc. So no, it's not going to cover the same firing range as say your beam arrays, but it's great for broadsiding. The cool thing I like about this is that I can have torpedo high yield on without worrying too much. With a quantum torpedo, torpedo high yield would actually make it a heavy quantum torpedo, and it's so slow firing, even NPCs shoot it down in a few seconds. As you see, I haven't really refilled the extra console slot that I got freed up. It does have less console slots than the Odyssey by 2 slots. The Odyssey had 3 science and 4 tactical consoles, but it looks like just 1 more, just because you had 3 consoles on the other one versus 1 that came with this one. Alright, I know this review probably wasn't the best. I'll see if I can get a write-up from some of my fleet mates that use the Regent class starships, see if it's any good for them. I know I have fleet mates that love this ship. And I am a little impressed. It was not a waste of my money in terms of gameplay. I just prefer the Odyssey, what it has, its consoles. Otherwise, it's an okay ship. One thing I like about the Odyssey is I can separate the chevron and get myself an escort right there. Increase my DPS, and it helps when I go into a pug and everybody has a cruiser. Oh, just to let you guys know, I am actually part of the Steam community now. My name's not up on here, but if you add me, William McCormick, with no K at the end of it, I'll put it in the video. You can actually find me on Steam. I actually had to do a lot of key modifications. As you see, I now have a lot of screenshots. Yeah. Alright, until then, have a nice day.